Hey, yo, my Coaster friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to the Coaster Contest. We're kicking things off with our first of 4 creations here today. Goes to RAVEWAVE, created by Jexi, a builder. And here they say, hey Johnny, this is my very first fully themed coaster in Planko 1 and 2, and I've poured all of my creative juices into this baby. RAVEWAVE captures the spirit of the music festival, which is what summer is all about for me. I love loud music, outlandish set designs, the atmosphere, the food, the wacky art installations, and everything else that goes along with dancing in a field till you can't feel your legs. This experience is best enjoyed at night and features an immersive queue walk with plenty to see and hear. Once I've submitted this, so now, I'll be getting to work on planning and building a fully themed music festival park. So watch this space. Thank you again for all that you do for this community. Oh, you are very welcome, Jexi. Very good introduction there. Fun. Sounds like a fun way to kick off the episode, so let's dive right on into it. Let's go. That was incredible. Short and sweet, but incredible. So much going on here. Definitely best experience at night. I can see why. Let's check it out from another perspective here. The crab rocket launcher. Oh my goodness. All right, let's pop out and talk about it. I guess we could walk down the exit and see if there's any more scenery. What a vibe. Definitely a vibe. As we walk right into the blueprint from the get-go, there's a lot of fun stuff to look at. Lots of neon lights, great artistry. There's this giant Subnautica guy, scuba dude, some fun statues and things. Really like this, very trippy. And then you've included all this kind of funness into that of your coaster design as well. We have the DJ Pink Penguin, which is kind of like our community mascot at this point. I might have to get the volume down just a bit. As I was saying, DJ Pink Penguin, the Pink Penguin is a bit of our mascot, community mascot from Planet Coaster 1. However, I would say lately, people have been joining this crab cult, and this little crabby seems to be the new mascot for Planko 2, I guess. The community is and it's blowing up a pink penguin. So out with the old and in with the new is the crab. I don't know how we got here, but we're here, guys. Great sequencers on this coaster, by the way, and just the stage. You got a beautiful show here, and you're launching across said show with all the pyrokinetics and flashing lights and laser beams. It's quite fantastic, especially for somebody's very first ever build. I have to say I'm super impressed. And you know, this neon art style, I've seen it a few times. It's not easy to fill in the blank spots. You know, it's like, where do I put these art shapes? How do I fill the space and make it good, feel good? And you put a little bit of everything everywhere, and it was not lacking to me at any point throughout the experience. While the experience was short, it was an exhilarating coaster with a, you know, plenty of incredible visuals along the way, and it was a blast. Absolutely stellar job on this one, going to Jexi on their very first ever creation in this game series for a coaster. We've seen them in this the challenges a few times, so welcome Jexi, and I think this is a very strong submission for the builder bracket. I suspect you'll do quite well, so very good job, and way to kick off the episode is Jexi. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our next creation of the day. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is Glory Orange, created by Edjenoh, also known as Edward, an advanced builder in this community, and here they say, it so happened that I just started working on a wooden restaurant for my Serious Planko 2 park when the contest was announced. Then came the on-ride photo update, and Planko friends came along. So I decided to give the coaster another upgrade with a Photoshop and some more custom friends. Of course, no summer coaster entry could pass without the addition of the by now nefarious crabs. What did I just say? What did I say about the crabs? Oh boy. The orange variants particularly take to flower tending and some unusual interventions. No dolphins were harmed during the production of this blueprint. All right, you bring up an interesting point that I want to address really quickly. You said you added to an existing blueprint. Contest, you should be starting from scratch, so you didn't really make it clear on how much you built from the time the coaster was announced or how much you added to it. But for future cases, definitely go into all contests with a fresh creation. All right, let's get into it. All right, a short and sweet and somewhat mild wooden coaster, but very fun. A lot of good artistry. Interesting take on the orange theming here. And I definitely see a lot of fun Planko friends. Now for that coaster layout, let's pop out and take a look at it. I'd say it's a little stiff, right? Could use definitely a little bit more smoothing. It could be a little bit more wavy. I think starting things off, it's got a pretty short lift overall, which is going to give you not a lot of friction to work with, right? And as a result, it was a pretty low riding, mild wooden coaster. I prefer when they go all the way up a little bit higher and have a lot more uppy downy, bring it right back up to the top, slow that momentum down, then bring it back down again, and then just get a lot of smoothing, banking, and that sort of thing going on, so that it's a bit more on the extreme side of things. Now, what are these Planko friends? Oh my goodness, I don't know. They're adorable. You got them everywhere. I saw another one. Here we go. Oh my goodness, these are great. It's the barred bird. Aw, what do we have going on here? You got a crab house for your pet crab. Oh no, and it's roasting a dolphin. Of course it is. Of course it is. You've dressed it up and everything. That is hilarious. Oh my heavens. And you even had me out front, but why am I wearing orange? I think blue would have worked just fine for me. Blue and orange are complementary. Boom. The fiery stove. We be cooking in here, cooking up a storm. It's fun. It's got some nice Viking theme. In fact, I feel like we haven't seen Viking in a hot minute, right? Seems like everybody was building Viking right out of the rip with Planet Coaster 2. And then we got a little bit burnt out. A lot of people took a break from it. We've been seeing a lot of different stuff. And now that Frontier has brought in over all the packs from Planet Coaster 1, it definitely gives people a little bit more variety. But it is a nice Viking build, right? Like, I like the elevation here, the different undulating buildings smashed together for a very nice, interesting shape to this kind of longhouse design. Even like this little bit jutting up there. I think it's pretty solid overall. Like I said, there's some things to improve with the coaster, make it less stiff, more extreme, push it a little bit further for next time. You have a lot nice things going on with the artistry here, the color palette, the fun Planko characters. So I think it's a very strong submission for what would be your first ever coaster contest, Edward. So great job on this one, Edjenoh. Keep up the great work. And our third creation of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is going to Pirates of Paradise Bay. But the incomplete area is called Buccaneers Bay. And this is created by Thunderkind, an unranked and now builder in this community. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And here they say, hi everybody, I've been watching the channel for a few years now, but I've never submitted anything yet. When I saw the announcement of this contest, I knew I wanted to participate, but due to my work, I didn't have a lot of time. But I used all the possible time I could to get to build on this blueprint. I really hope you all like it. Enjoy. Let's go. I mean, just from a quick glance at things from a bird's eye view when I open up the map, I have to say this appears to be, and it just might be, the most spectacular pirate coaster that we've seen in Planet Coaster 2 to date just yet. But they only recently brought over the pirate pack from Planet Coaster 1, and it was not a very popular theme in the first game in the first place, so a lot of people haven't really taken a stab at it. But I'm pretty excited for this because it feels like the first major big official pirate coaster of this contest. Let's get into it. Holy Toledos! Let's go. That was incredible. Holy moly, Thunderkind bringing out the thunder. Wow. Wow. I am not disappointed. That was so much fun. My goodness. There was a lot packed into that. Front to back, so many visuals. Quite a great coaster layout too. What was the track length on that real quick? Open details. 2.2 kilometers in length. Definitely a lot of length to it. Let's check it out again at night. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-dum. Bum, ba-dum. Definitely excel during the daytime, but it's pretty challenging to light up these pirate scenes, but holy moly, let's take a closer look at this. This is crazy. This is exactly what I like to see from Pirate. The shantiness, the stacks of crazy buildings. Look at the dilapidated buildings, smashing ships into wood and individually placing the planks one by one. The coaster going through all of that, over the top and around and through this. I mean, it was just an experience. Oh man, I am not disappointed at all. Definitely the best pirate coaster that I have seen in Planet Coaster 2 yet. Wow. So far, man, oh man, this is incredible. Visually incredible, nice hits of color, great artistry on the buildings. I mean, it is the full package through and through. Incredible coaster design. For a coaster contest, you focused on that coaster. It was fast, furious, and had a lot of duration, and it was not letting up for a moment. Just crazy, the amount of visuals. And I like how you only built what you needed to see. You have a bit of a facade here. You know, you faced everything inward, but didn't really do anything for the backside, which makes it, from the person perspective, it looks all real, even though it's a set piece, right? It's super immersive, super cozy, and just an incredible amount of visuals. You also had the animators in there, right? We had a cannon that blew up the ship right out of the rip. We can see it here. Boom! Right into the fishing village. That is so cool. Even this little eagle soaring around here, you have it on a mover. I couldn't help but notice that. Those tiny little touches, right? Lighthouse there with the rotating lights. You had some big water splashes come up throughout the coaster experience as well. I mean, it checks all the boxes, right? It's a beautiful coaster design. It's gonna win a good, in terms of layout and length and design, it's gonna win the coaster contest in my opinion for this bracket for those reasons. But the theming is next level, and you had the movers, like you did a little bit of everything. The queue is also pretty good. I'd say that the queue was good. I would say that's the one thing you could amp up. If I were to give some advice, go look at the recent flat ride spotlights that we did for the challenge series. Somebody did a rocking ship where they moved the whole room around the queue, and it made us feel like we were moving through a ship that was on stormy waters. And if you could figure out how to do that or learn how to do that, that would have just set it over the top. But that was the first time we had ever seen that. So I'm just saying, go take some inspiration from it, because I think there's some fantastic pirate stuff in that flat ride blueprint spotlight that you could copy with taste for the next one. But this was incredible. I'm super happy to see a really fun, exciting pirate launch coaster in the contest. And I think you, for an unranked and now builder, I think you're going to do very, very well in your bracket. Thunder King, a brand new name to this community, someone I haven't seen before. You don't even have a Planko friend yet, so get making one of those as well. Maybe try to participate in the community challenges that we have, because I definitely want to see more from you in the future here, Thunder King. But very, very strong creation here today. Amazing, absolutely amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that leaves us with our very last creation of the day, the Summer Wreck. Created by SLAPSHOT, an unranked, also unranked, and now builder to this community. And here they say, welcome to Paradise Cove, the home of the Summer Wreck, an LMS multi-launch coaster. On this summer adventure, you will board your mech shark and defend your territory. Watch out for the rivals. Are we gonna have sharks versus crabs? Oh boy. And then they continue to say, this is my first contest submission. Just wanted to create a fun, wacky summertime coaster. Enjoy. All right, I love it. This sounds hilarious. SLAPSHOT, let's go. Wow. Let's freaking go. Okay, a bit hard to see what's going on in the nighttime for this one. Back-to-back pirate theme coasters, ladies and gentlemen, sort of. I mean, it's using a little bit of the tropical pieces, but a little bit of the pirate pieces as well. Also a very long coaster track on this one, actually longer than our previous here, but a little bit more open. First person, I think, in this contest to use whatever this piece is called. I don't even know what you call this. It's a double, wait, it is a piece in the game, right? Or did you manually did that? You manually did that. I think there's a piece in the game that does this by default, but not to this size and scale. But you basically double-sided the loop there and timed it so that the second train would pass by at the same time. Boom, there it goes, and they touch there. That's pretty cool. I gotta give you props for pulling that off. I think that's quite fantastic. Coaster for me was a little bit rigid and stiff at times. Could definitely use a little bit more of that smoothing, and going for like a 2.5 kilometer long coaster when it's rigid around a lot of the turns there. My advice would be for a blueprint coaster contest, you could definitely get your practice in and do something a little bit more compact and keep the duration under a kilometer and try to dial in that perfect coaster layout with perfect smoothing, and then elevate that theming as well. The theming is there, it is fun, but it also feels a little sporadic and all over the place, a little bit barren at times, but nonetheless, it was a very fun experience overall. And another pirate one at that. I did not plan this. We kind of randomized it a little bit, and we got two pirate coasters back to back, and I think this one has a lot of things that you can learn from in terms of the smoothness of the coaster, the aesthetic, the theming, the shantiness of the builds. If you want to aim pirate, your neighbor here has a lot of inspiration and things for you to take. But I will say the overall blueprint, like the way you did the water here with all the pools and the water effects, I think the actual landscape of things look really good. And this might just be a case of a creator who works better with park files than blueprints. I definitely know it's hard to manage these 8K blueprints, and people are getting a little crazy with the size of things when traditionally we're used to seeing these more smaller compact blueprints traditionally, and things are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger with the limitations, the endless limitations of Planet Coaster 2. But a very, very solid creation overall, and I gotta say, you builders, everybody in this bracket here today in this video were basically brand new to the game, other than our creator over here, who's at Advanced Builder, had also very, very new. Advanced is our second rank in the community. So for pretty much all new builders to the game, I think everybody's doing something really good in their own way. Very, very solid creations from a builder bracket, I'd have to say. And I think pretty much everybody here is due for a promotion and should do very well in their bracket for this competition. So great job to everyone here today. Loved all these creations. Fantastic pirate build, fantastic neon build, fun little Viking, and another pirate. We're getting spoiled here. And an additional shout out to all of our patrons who are helping to keep the dream alive. Thank you all so much for supporting this show. I really do appreciate it. If you guys want to support, check out Patreon down in the description below. And that is going to do it for us in today's episode of the Coaster Contest. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.